here. If
I
we
cannot. I am in the phone,
I will.
cell phone.
Okay, so I shall read. Did
Sorry.
you post this song? Not yet, Cindy. It's now in the stage of exchanging. Maybe Felipe, would you like to open? How does it work usually? How you want to open? How a song is
Yes.
being
Yes.
produced, and everybody. And I also open the broadcast on YouTube so people can listen as well. So share with us, how
Yes.
does it
Sure.
work usually? Yes.
Yes. It's usually we are making some intercontinental production. It's quite. It's delightful, actually. Sometimes, let's say in this case, Eti just record something, some music, some words that came from for her, and she just shared this a cappella audio, and we take this audio. Uh, in this particular song, I took it and I um, place it in my computer, in my production set, and I just organize this a cappella free record, free audio. I organize it in a beat. Uh, we have to put it on a beat so everybody can join in, and it makes let's say an organized audio production. You have to like the beat is like a metronome, and it has to be the same for everyone, so everyone who enters in can put different parts. So for instance, Andre Zeno um, takes what I sent back to him, to them, and put some keyboards on it, and after it, or before, Fernando usually put some bass on it, and it is everyone is in their own houses or studios, and that's it. We just keep doing like chatting, but with sending audio, sending different kinds of musics, and it's really fun. It's kind of for me. I love to do this, so I spend many hours producing and trying to fit harmonies, melodies, rhythms, beats, and so on. So it's like chatting in the musical level. It's really cool because it allows us to um, share and let's say manifest creativity in this particular art, which is music. And I also Cindy and friends, it's amazing because there is no need for a professional, let's say, super uh, uh, setup, of gear, of equipment. Many times I just took some audio that Eti sent in her phone, or even myself. Let's say I just recorded some guitar in the phone, and after it I can produce it in the digital audio station. So that's it. It's really cool, and I really encourage everyone. I know Cindy, even I just once I heard you playing the piano beautifully. You sent a piece, and it would be really cool if we could produce as well something. It's really light. It's really whatever comes to you, we can just make some a jam session. It's like a jam session. It's really cool. So I am really glad about this experience, and promoting this creativity for friends, and that's it. We are happy with it, and thankful for Eti, Andre, and Fernando and other friends too.
Thank you. And for Alex that makes the covers.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes. My
Alex.
friend,
Yes.
yes, my friends.
Yes.
I have my brother Alexandre. He lives in Montreal,
Mm.
and he loves to make art, and he helps us with the covers of the singles. Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. This is such
Thank you,
a
Etty.
thank you so much, because this is such a deep being, I call it deep being, those being encapsulated in those songs.
Etty, if I
Yes.
may just one more thing that it's beautiful because um, there are some I mean, for instance, we've for last years we mentioned many times Isaac Luria about his teachings and his let's say inspirations, and it's interesting because Isaac Luria didn't write anything. As long as I know, um, he wrote some poetry, and I feel that many times Zeti is someone that has this particular rich experience that share with us. I feel that sometimes these poetries, these poems, are the way that many teachings and inspirations come. It's it overcomes the rational state of speech and comes through poetry. So this is why for me it's so beautiful to also to produce these songs, because there are many uh, a flow of consciousness and being in these songs, in the saying about the logos part of it. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Felipe. Good morning, everyone. We're very happy that you're here. Thank you, Felipe, for the forward, beautiful forward, and that you're here on the phone today. And everyone, Luke, Yanis, Jill, Rodrigo, Fernando, Ogbai, Abigail, Yanis, Cindy, we're so happy that you're here. And it's a beautiful way to connect, yes, through music, because it connects everyone. And if, Felipe, you wish to play a few chords from this Hidden Soul, this is the name of it, I guess, Hidden Soul. If you wish, if you have the guitar, if you wish to play a few notes, you're most welcome.
I'm at the office.
At the office. It's good.
Yes, I'm
It's
out.
good. It's good. It's good. And Luke, I think, is playing the piano. So also Luke can play if he wishes, if he wants, also an offering. Yes, and this is a very, very beautiful piece, because when it's only 4 lines. I mean, this is a poem with 4 lines. And I ask myself, what is happening here? So it's not rational, and only because in a way the words also leads the music, because the music is encapsulated in the words already, and I came to sing it like as in a cappella, and I was, what is this content? And Andre heard it, Zeno, he heard it, he said, what? Those things, like Felipe says, they are coming in in a non-rational way, and since they are coming not or irrational in a poetry, or in a, let's say, in a form, I don't know if form is a good word, but a form of a poem, it encapsulated and host things that, or modes that you cannot express in 10,000 books. What you can say, not you, but the words can say in certain order in 4 lines, sometimes 22 volumes of something of encyclopedia cannot express. So this is what This is what is so amazing about those things. Yes, Luke wants to speak. Yes, Luke, good morning. We just click and you're supposed to be unmuted now to unmute. Here, Luke is. Yes.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. How do you do, Luke?
Oh, pretty good. We got snow over here today.
Whoa. Good to hear you.
So,
Snow already.
yeah,
That's a beautiful
I
surprise.
know. Hoping
Wow.
we could go snowboarding soon.
Good. Good.
All of us. Y'all are invited.
It's
But
just
let's see if I can do something. I don't know how
okay.
the audio will sound.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can hear that.
Yes, we can hear. Can you play now? Yes?
Can you hear?
Yeah, I heard. Do
Okay,
you hear
let's see if I'm
Yanis,
turned up.
Jill, Rodrigo, Fernando, can you hear Cindy? He's trying to play something. I hope you can hear. Yes? Beautiful. Beautiful, Luke. Can you send us a recorded
Thank you.
file? Yes, into Discord. Yes, and if you have something that you would like to send, we shall be happy. if you
Yeah,
if
I'll
you
see.
on
Yeah.
yes.
Did you guys hear that? Did it come through okay?
Yes, it came through, and if it will be recorded, let's say as an MP3 or any kind of file, we could
Well, it's
open
not
it.
my original, unfortunately, but I could try to add a little something to it. It's just my favorite piece, and the person who wrote it's got my last name, so I guess I kind of relate to that. But it's called True by Martin Taylor. I learned it a long
Mm,
time ago, and that's just been one of my go-tos. Because that breakdown he does there, I don't know what he's doing, but it's just got a beautiful kind of little rundown he does on chords. So I'll tool around with something and send it to you guys in a week or so. I'll see what I can get going.
good, good, good to hear you,
Thank you for
Luke.
your time.
Thank you, and have a good time with the snow. You know?
Yeah, I'll try.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Luke. Thank you, Luke.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening.
thank you. And I shall be happy to hear if you have questions about anything. We shall be delighted to answer your questions if something on
I
your mind.
listened to the Doe's the horse
Yes,
song. That was
yes.
funny. That was funny. Don't be like the horse.
Mm.
But what about the mule?
The mule. You would like to have also a poem about the mule? Yes. Did you hear, Felipe?
Sometimes we're like a horse, though. I guess more than not, huh? We need a rider. You're our rider sometimes.
That's cool, Luke. That's cool. It's interesting because this song, let's say, I mean, I just read it on Zohar part of the book that David he didn't sleep, you know, he was stayed up, and he just take a nap, just dozed like a horse, like for 16 seconds. For my the way I understand, he was just awake. He was it lacks the words in English. He was alive, let's say.
Daydreaming.
Yeah, yeah.
That's actually scripture then. That made it so much more interesting. Wow. I have to look that up. Thank you. Cool.
Felipe? Can you hear us, Felipe? Yes? 1 second.
Sorry?
Yeah, I asked if Felipe can hear you. It was not, I could not get a signal from Felipe.
Yes,
Yes?
yes,
Yes.
yes. I
Yes.
heard. Yes,
Yes.
it's cool.
Mm.
Yes. And if you have like recordings of guitar or piano, or if you write lyrics or you paint, something comes to you as a sketch, as a painting, as a print, everything that comes to you, you're most welcome to share. Because we can never know what can come out of it. Maybe you wrote a story, maybe a doodle. We used to have here a friend from Britain. She used to send from time to time a doodle that she used to write a few lines and to draw something and like a moving story, beautiful things. So please feel free because there are so many channels here and you're most welcome to share things that you write, stories, whatever comes to you. Yes. 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 That's true. It's true. It's true. And this is very good that you ask about the backstory of David. Yes. 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 Yishai, I think in English they say Jesse, the father of David, Yishai. He was having already, they were having, I think, 7 children, himself and his wife. But one day he just want to have a flirt. How do you say in English? A flirt with a maid. Yes? So he set a meeting at night with the maid because he felt, let's say, to be with a maid. And he was a married man. And the maid, she was very lawful. How do you say trust? She had a trust for the lady. Yes, for the lady of the house. And the maid came and told the Jesse's wife, Yishai's wife, that her husband was supposed to meet her in the evening somewhere. She was having, how do you say, she was lawful to the lady of the house. So when Jesse, Yishai, set a meeting with her that evening, she came to the lady of the house, to his wife, and says, here, your husband is setting a meeting this evening, and this is the place. And she gave her the accurate, let's say, spot. So it was night, deep down at night. And he was already, Jesse, he was already in the room waiting. But since the maid informed the wife the meeting and the time, it was night, so his wife, his lawful wife, came to the room instead of the maid. And Jesse was with her that night, with his wife, in truth. But he thought, Jesse thought, that he is sleeping with the maid. Because was the agreement. They set an agreement the afternoon, that morning. They set a meeting. And for him, it was the plain truth. But the maid, she went to the wife and said it. So at night, when everything was dark, the wife came into the meeting place. And they were together. And Yishai, the father of David, Jesse, thought that he is sleeping with a maid. And from this night, his wife, his lawful wife, conceived the 8th child. And when it was the time for her to give birth, and David came out. And when the baby came out, he did not look like the rest of the brothers or like the father or like the mother. He looked like completely very, very, very different. Not like the parents, not like the brothers, not like relatives at all. And in the family, there was like kind of that he is the son of others because he doesn't look like any other family member. And there is even a verse in Psalms that David documents this, what happens to him as a baby or to his parents. He says in Psalms, Ba'avon yichamtani imi. Ba'avon yichamtani imi. My mother was conceived me in, so to speak, not in a right way, but in a circle way. Because his father, this is a psalm. Those 3 words are his psalms. And his father was thinking that he is with a maid, and everybody knew that. And when he came out and he did not look like everybody else, it was like a stain on him, because it was like his father wanted to be in idolatry, but it did not happen because the mother knew about it, so she circled the plate, so he was born like this. And when he grew up, it was like, what is this shame and calamity, this child? So they sent him to shepherds, the sheep of the family, on the hills of Bethlehem, meaning not in the outskirts of Bethlehem, of the city, that nobody will see the calamity. Meaning, because in a way, the appearance of David already, testify on this awkward circumstances that he was coming to be. And he wrote this in his Psalms. I can look and tell you which Psalms is it, because he is testifying upon it. This is the verse, by the way, that I believe Cindy was asking about. Is there? Yes, this is Psalms 51:7. Yes, Psalms 51:7, if you can pop it. Yes, I don't have the English, but the Hebrew is Psalms 51:7. This is his testimony that this is what happened that night that he was born. I mean, not that he was born, but the mother conceived. Yes, the father's, he was supposed to go with the maid. It's like the Jacob story, but the opposite. Yes, like Jacob wanted to marry Rachel, and Leah was put by Laban under the veil, and here you see. Yes, Rodrigo, thank you so much. Yes. Because why does he say such a thing? Because the agreement was between Ishai and the maid. And she just came like this. She in a way twisted or moved the plate, circled, took another ride on the plate and turned the wheel of faith or luck, and she went into the room instead of the maid. So sages saying that since he was thinking, the father was thinking at the maid, the thinking is like in a way the doing. So he was thinking about the maid in the moment of the happening, and the thought is reflected in the child David. Yes, this is why he was rejected, because the other brothers say he doesn't look like us. This is a shame and calamity. I mean, the father wants to to be with the maid, so it's a shame for the family. So let's hide this outcome. Yeah, we cannot kill the child, but at least we can hide the shame. Yes, the shame and the calamity. Yes, this is the story of David. Yes. This is a beautiful story to show us how little do we know. Because Yishai was sure and certain that he is in love with the maid, and this night they're gonna have what they're gonna have, some kind of adventure, whatever. Everybody is sure that they know. Nobody knows nothing. All the time. Not just in this story, in general in life. Nobody knows anything. Questions? This is quite interesting, all of this story. Quite interesting. Hello, can you hear? I just connected the headset. Can you hear? Hello, hello? Yes, you can hear? The headset is a new one and just has... Yes. This is quite an interesting story. And sages say this is a correct, how to say, a story that's supposed to correct the first sin, so to speak, of Adam Rishon, first man. Adam Rishon is supposed to live 1,000 years. Yes? But he lived only 930. We can read in Genesis, Adam Rishon lived only 930 years. 70 years were cut from him, because this is the tree of knowledge, 70, like wine. So those 70 years were taken from him. It is also quite interesting to look at the word taken. He really lived 1,000 years. 70 years of his life, he lived in the notion of I know. Yes? Do you understand is it understood? Before I open this, because if we read in the book of Genesis, we read that his life were 930. He's supposed to live 1,000 years. The sages are saying beautiful thing, that yes, 70 years, 70 years he was like under the sense of I know, this is the tree of knowledge, and he lived, it means he was aware 930 years. So this is in a way the distribution between 930 and 70. They both give 1,000 in English, Elef, in Hebrew or Aleph. Elef, 1,000, and Aleph, the first letter, unicity, is the same word in different Likud. Yes, look, who is it?
We can hear you again. Sorry, I was just saying the headset mic cut off a couple minutes ago.
Okay. So Sage is saying something very interesting. Those 70 years that were taken in a way, or Adam was sleeping or unaware, or think or thought that he knew something, were given to David. David could not have a life of his own. Those 70 years, in a way, were taken from Adam and given to David as a loan. Yes, as a loan. People go to the bank, they don't have money. They ask for a loan or a credit, and the bank or the credit company, they give them a loan or a credit. in a way, David's life also were 70 years, and they were given to him as a present, as a credit, as a loan. Yes? And this is in a way, David in his life, yes, managed to correct Adam's sin or sleeping. And David was awakened like those in the song that Felipe sings, those. He never slept. He used to nap like a horse and then wake up for 60 seconds or so. He never slept all his 70 years. And he lived only 70 years, yes? All his 70 years he was awake. And this is to correct what? Adam's sin, so to speak, or mistake, call it. Yes, yes. Yes, Cindy, yes, yes. Yes. Any other questions about David, Abraham? Also, Abraham is a correction of Adam. Any other question? Yes, Felipe. And why did I come through Cindy's question? Yes, yes, between David and the horse. Yes, yes. Through, yes, you can write through Cindy's question. Dalet, Vav, Dalet. Yes, Dalet, Vav, Dalet. Yes, let's write it. Yes, very good. Dalet, Vav, Dalet, David. Yes, and Sus. Yes, very good. This is why he used to, yes, to nap for 60 seconds. You have 666 in the, yes, if we open the word horse in Hebrew, so, yes, this is you deal with, I think, in the New Testament. True? Horse in Hebrew, sus. Horse, sus. If you open the word sus, you have Dr. Seuss for children. He used to have these books of his, Dr. Seuss, yes? So, if we open the Hebrew, sus, samech is 60, vav is 6, another samech is 6, we have 666. Yes? This is, in a way, horse. So, do you see, Felipe, how the Zohar is built? What does it mean to sleep like a horse? How does it work? All the language of laws, midrashim, legends, everything sits on the mathematics. And the story of, yes, Felipe? Luke, who is there?
No, just it's those relations are quite amazing because, for instance, this I once was thinking about this and we discussed it as well. The 666 as a non-stopping. I mean, there's no Shabbat. There
Yes.
isn't this the unity of resting. So it's like only in the clock, 666, 60 seconds. And in David, he has this, but it's not only, it's not unilateral. It's not bad thing, because if you like David just rested as a horse, as a sus. He used this let's say, this concept of the horse, of the strength of the horse, and that didn't that sorry, does not have to sleep too much. He used this strength to manifest, to be the 70. uh, I don't know, just relationship that pops up. I cannot speak very well,
You speak
but
excellently. Really, really, you do. Yes. Yes, we can look at the horse. There are many ways to look at the horse. One of them is like 1 to 4. Yes. Another one is 666. It's like non-stopping, like kinetic movement all the time. So what does it mean, kinetic movement? Not to have the peace of the soul, the serenity of the soul. But what does it mean that he used to sleep like a horse, that he used to, in a way, refresh in a few seconds? He never slept. He never, also, how do their horse, they sleep standing. They don't need to lie on the ground. People usually, they sleep on something. Yes. But this is amazing, is he was awake. He was awake, and this is all his 70 years he was awake. And this is to correct the sleeping, yes, of Adam HaRishon, to correct the sleeping of the 70 years of Adam HaRishon. And he was awake. How do we know that David was awake? He wrote Psalms, and it doesn't matter what the psalm in a way is saying. He was all the time in connection, and there are beautiful psalms of glory, hallelujah, thank you, and there's like deep oceans, blues psalms. Yes, he always was awake, and it doesn't matter, like in the absolute, we learn a bit mathematics, so in absolute it doesn't matter if it's -2 or +2, this is 2. So it doesn't matter if it's a happy psalms or the blues psalms, it is a psalm. And this is the evidence that he was awake, the poetry. Yes. So this is to, in a way, to correct. This is why the sages relate to David as a correction of Adam HaRishon. It is funny because this is it is in a way easy to look at the Bible and speak about, so to speak, figures from the Bible. It is, we don't want to look and see this is what happens to humans, because they're in a way no two. There is no figurine in the Bible, another person or someone who reads the Bible. There's one. There's only one. Yes. Many, many things we don't know. But in a way, we don't like to admit that we don't know, or we don't have any control. We don't know who our parents, who our grandparents, even if we know them by name, or we visited granny, we don't know anything. We know nothing. If there's a bird on the window, I don't know if there's a bird in the window, on the windowsill, I'm not sure. Is there rain now? I don't know. Many, many things we don't know. But the great illusions of all is to think that we know. There is a beautiful, to the questions that you're asking, there's a beautiful, immense, beautiful literature of Midrashim, of Zohar, for Cindy, for Ogba. You can read and have impressions from what is happening there. Of course, all of those laws are based on mathematics. and sings in a way that, and this is a beautiful thing because people look at the Bible as a history book, but it's not. It's about what there is. So the laws, the midrashim, they are like jazz players. Yes, the people, or not people that they have. I don't look at people that have, in a way, persona. This is what the university does. They say this person wrote this one. People who wrote the midrashim, they are like jazz players or musicians with a great sensitivity. They read the Hebrew and noticed musical space, and the laws are sliding into those spaces. This is why we have there is such a rich literature of midrashim, of laws, of legends, and so on. And what is the testimony for being alive or not sleeping or not knowing? What is the testimony that David brings for not knowing? And this is the awakened situation of not knowing. The testimony is what? Poetry. This is the testimony, because in poetry nobody knows anything or knows nothing. This is the testimony of not knowing. Yes, not knowing anything, because when something is coming, like a poem comes, nobody asks you. It just comes through and you just deliver it like a midwife, so you don't know. And this is the proof of living, in a way, awakened life. It is quite common question, Cindy. The fruit, in a way, is the brain. The question is the spirit. Yes, the spirit is susceptible to think that the brain is. There is. Yes. It's not about the past. Yes, this is not a question about the past. You can ask the question in present tense, in present moments. Yeah, at the moment you can ask. Yes. Are we eating the fruit that the brain suggests to us all the time? Are we eating from it? From narration? Ask yourself. You are the only one who can answer this. The sense of knowing creates at least two things. The sense of ownership, yes, and also, of course, yes, and with it also a sense of narrowness. This is what it does. Yes, it narrows us all down to what we capture. But if we capture nothing, this is the interesting part. Having no narration is a great freedom. This is the only freedom from the bondage of self. having no narration. This is what happens also in the Binding of Isaac. There was no narration there. This is why it is so important. Because what gives the parents the sense that they are parents? The fact that they are before the child. This is what creates the sense of parenting. But if you cancel the time, there is no parenthood relations. There is a beautiful story of Appelfeld, Aaron Appelfeld, about, in a way, through his life. He shares a similar experience. He did not intend that it will happen to him. Life just happened. He was taken as a child. He was abandoned in the forests in Second World War. He was abandoned in the forest of Europe. His mother was taken. She was killed immediately, and he continues to live in the forest with partisanim, people who lives in the forest, and lawbreakers, and all kinds of, let's say, weird people in the forest trying to live, because the Germans were all over the place trying to take life. So he has to live in the forest for a couple of years alone, with no adult or a friend or an uncle or a neighbor. He, as a 7-year-old kid, I think, he just had to survive with not even have the ability to trust any adult around him, because it was hard times and hard people were in the forest. Years passed. Somehow, as a teenager, he was already a teenager. The war was over in Europe, and he managed to come with a ship to Israel. And he did not, he slowly learned the language, the Hebrew language. He was speaking natively German. And he started a new life, from, and he did not have a life or at all of a kid, because he was 7. He was thrown into the forest for 6 years or so. He came out as a teenager, but without being a child at all, because if you throw a child of 7 to the forest with all kinds of people and not decent, and the Germans and other armies are trying to kill others, so you have to live in a way not like a child, but more like, let's say, you can complete it in your head. So he did not have a moment of a child at all. Anyways, the time passed, and the war was over, and they were collecting Hebrew people background from Europe. He was coming to Israel as a teenager without a language, without Hebrew. He learned it here later. But still, he was looking all the times. There were like documentation, or in the news or in the newspapers, like lists of people who survived the war, because there was a mess all over the world after the Second World War. People were trying all the time to find survivors, relative, friends, neighbors, some kind of a connection to find out if people are alive and where are they. So it was a big thing after the Second World War, because all over the place there was like lists. Sometimes they were published in the radios, in different stations, or sometimes in newspapers. And after 20 years, Appelfeld find in one of the lists a name of his father, of whom he did not see for the last 20 years. And he says the name Appelfeld is very, very rare. So when he saw the name, he had a suspicious that he might be his father, but because there aren't many. But he was researching and he found out that Mr. Appelfeld also arrived from Europe to Israel. And Mr. Appelfeld is working in one of the Hebrew settlements called Be'er Tuvia, Tobias well. And he was like in the orchard working. And he did not see him for 20 years. So he went to Be'er Tuvia, Tobias well. And he went into the orchard and he saw a tree and a ladder. And upon the tree was standing an old man. And he asked in German, Herr Appelfeld, meaning Mr. Appelfeld. And Aaron says that he did not say to the father that he is his son. And the father, Herr Appelfeld, did not tell Aaron that he is the father. And Herr Appelfeld was crying, and also Aaron, and they did not speak. And he says in his memory that he could not access this fire, maybe after many, many years. So this life is a collection of illusions. And the freedom, the only freedom that there is, yes, is to accept that this is illusion and everything in a way is open, and all is what is creating this web of suffering is the narration. Yes. The stories that we are telling to ourselves or we are being told about things. This is the great relief of all. A life free of narration. And this is the only truth. There's only one truth. Of course you can find joy in whatever you like. Of course. Of course. It's a beautiful week here. And beautiful months, December. Very happy to be here with you. Very happy. Many grudges or stories that we're carrying inside because we were told or we picked it along the way, it's not true. It doesn't have any holding. Just relieve those stories, and there's a great freedom in it. There's a lot of space comes with this, relieving those narrations, those stories behind. Once you let those dry leaf fall, you just drop it. There's a lot of space coming with it, and with the space comes immense life of creativity. Just drop it. It's not true. Just holdings. Yes? We can drop those holdings and the great freedom comes with it. It's a great relief. ראש חודש טוב, פרננדו, ראש חודש טוב. And with this beautiful blessing, I would like to wish each and every one of us a very good month, beautiful season, creative season. You can, of course, pop everything that you have here on Discord. We shall be happy. And such happy to be here with you today. It's not really, I would like, this is Thanksgiving was on Thursday, but I would like to say thank you for you being here with us in such a difficult time, and thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're happy to be here alive with you. Toda, shalom, and see you soon.